Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, Carmelo and Anthony had a lot to say, and he was on Paul George's Podcast P, and a lot of things he said was good to hear. You know, it was some things that kind of made my antennas go up and stuff like that. But he said something in particular that I thought I should go ahead and bring to the audience and have us discuss it. Doing this show late because I'm doing my second show for the day, because I didn't give y'all a solo show last week. I'm trying to give y'all two this week. So, you get two shows this weekend, and you probably get a third one. I'll probably do it again tomorrow, probably on Tuesday on my normal day. So y'all go get a lot of content. But it's the late night, so it's always interesting to see how many people join the late night shows. I've done probably like one or two of them. I had a couple of them. I was shocked and surprised a lot of people was up, man. So we'll see how many people jump in today. I don't know if I got any moderators in here. Y'all let me know who in the chat. I see some new people. What's going on? Yeah. Hit the share button as well, man. We're gonna get started, man. I'm gonna open the phone lines up for this one as well. So y'all go ahead and stick around. All four segments, all four topics are good topics to have a conversation about. And I'm interested to see what y'all think about it as well. So definitely, what's going on, Posh? Definitely go ahead, the phone lines open up for that. But before we get started, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, you're new here, go ahead and hit that sub button. You won't regret it. Hit that share button as well. If you already sub, let's get somebody else in here and get them the sub as well. Definitely hit the like button though. Don't forget about that. Malachi was good. But yeah, definitely hit that like button. And let's go ahead and get started, man. So Carmelo Anthony on Podcast P show talked about the possibility and the conversation surrounded around him joining Miami with LeBron, Bosh, and Wade. So I'm going to play it. It's a couple of minutes long, but like maybe 3 or 4 minutes long. So I might stop it in the middle and have that conversation. But here's what Carmelo Anthony had to say.
Right. Then the conversation got serious after like 06, 07, 08 with the big three. So they were supposed to go, it was supposed to be Bosh and Wade. And then me and Bron, like going somewhere. We just couldn't find out where. And we wanted it to be New York. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere. Or Chicago. Chicago was in the fold.
Okay. With you and Bron?
Me and Bron. But I was like, if we gonna find a place, then let it be go to Chicago. Like, I'm in Denver, you in Cleveland, free agency hit, let's try to make it work.
They can make that happen.
I didn't know at the time of the collective bargaining agreement, again, I wasn't as educated on the game, on the business of the game, on the business of the sport. So I didn't understand contracts and 3 years, 5 years, you know what I mean? Shit like that, lockout. I knew a little bit, but I wasn't really business savvy enough to understand what was about to happen. So in my situation, when I was in Denver, we was in the playoffs every year. We was 50 plus wins. Like we was building something in Denver. So I didn't want to leave. So why take a 3-year deal? No, I'm locked into this 5-year deal. And it was like 5 years, like, I don't know, 85, some shit like that.
Yeah.
Right. And I got ridiculed for taking a 5-year deal. Like, what? You know where the fuck I come from? I'm not leaving no money on the table. Right. This was me at that age. Like, right. I'm not leaving no money on the table. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm winning. I'm in Denver. We building something. Right. We got new powder blue uniforms. Like, we popping out here.
That's right.
Right? So I don't want to leave this to go do something that I might regret later down the line.
All right, so that's him talking about the beginning stages. All right, so and part of the conversation that you didn't hear, he talked for a couple of minutes about this, but basically what he was saying was that, the whole banana boat thing, like this thing has been talked about between CP3, Bosh, Wade, LeBron, and Melo. Like they always having that conversation, man. Hey, man, it'd be nice if we could team up. It'd be nice. It'd be nice, you know. And based on what Wade has said on his podcast, you know, you can kind of piece together what the truth is. But you know, that idea has always been tossed out there, and both Wade and Melo both will you know, profess that LeBron was the catalyst behind that conversation. He's always tried to push, man, we should play together. We should play together, and not just the idea, just two of them playing together, but three of them. And now we're finding out four of them, right? So that conversation was always there. Then it got to the point where that conversation became not so much of a pipe dream or just something to throw out there, but it became something that can be a possibility. And that's when they started talking about how would we do it? How would it work? How will we do the contracts? How can we make it possible? Well, hey, the CBA is going to be X, Y, and Z this year. It'd be better for us to take 3-year deals instead of 5-year deals. That way we can all be eligible around the same time. And, you know, based on what the CBA is going to do, we can strike while the iron's hot and do what we want to do, right? Contract wise, and make it work so we can play together. And Carmelo Anthony is saying that he wasn't on it. He wasn't on that. Let's take less money so we can all play together like LeBron, Wade, and Bosh did. They all took less money so they can play together, make it work. Melo was saying, nah, I ain't on that. I'm getting all my money. Right. So that's how that conversation went. And then it goes further.
And also at that time, I wasn't ready to go partner and team up with nobody because I was building my own shit in Denver. So to leave my own shit and go team up with somebody, it wouldn't have worked because we were all young and and we all going down our own path. So I'm over here, like whatever y'all gonna do, y'all gonna do. So I get the call when they say, yo, it's a lockout's coming. Yo, we taking a 3-year deal. Right? So let me think about that. Hit y'all back, man. Hit y'all back. Call my agent at the time, which was
hit that like
I think I was with Bill Duffy at the time and Calvin Andrews. And I'm like, 3-year deal. Yo, bro, it's no conversation. I'm staying. I'm taking a 5-year 85. I'm staying in Denver. I'm happy, boom, boom. So they was trying to finagle how to make that shit work. And then it was like, I think one of them had to take like 16 and the other one 17 and the other one like, you know what I mean? Like all of them had to really sacrifice, which I take my hat off to them for doing that because that's hard as shit to leave at that point in time in your career, young like that. We all was at the top of the game.
Right.
And just say fuck all of that and come together, like nobody was thinking about that. So when they did it, it just made everybody like, oh shit, Melo, you could have been the fourth one. Now, and it's just, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Imagine me at 23 years old, 24 years old, being the fourth option on the team when I'm leading my team every single year. Like I'm finding my way in this league.
Right.
And you want me to leave that and go be a fourth option.
Yeah.
No
I don't
chance.
know mentally how I was going to be ready for that.
Exactly.
It ain't got nothing to do with money.
Right.
Mentally, I don't know how I was going to do that. I'd have had a different role. I'd have had to figure out my role on that team. These are alphas that we all coming together. Like Bron is an alpha. D Wade is an alpha.
Crazy.
Now, everybody don't give Chris Bosh enough credit. Chris Bosh was ridiculous in Toronto.
Right.
So for them three to go, I'm like, man, hell no. Like I can't be that 4-5. Hell no. So I'm cool. I'm out here in Denver. So the conversations always was like, that was always a what if the Miami, but people don't look at it like that. It's just, oh, Melo was selfish. So he took 5 years, he took the money and he could have had 3 rings. And man, all that shit a lot of times don't be worth it.
Right.
So there you have it. There was plans for Melo to possibly be part of that big 3. So maybe it would have been LeBron, Melo, and Wade. But there also was possibilities that, hey man, if Melo would have not taken the 5-year deal and took the 3-year deal to match up everything with those three guys with the Heat, they could have been all sitting down at the table trying to figure out how they could get four guys on that squad who was going to take what amount of money. And the way Chris Bosh was willing to be the third wheel and get all the scraps on the court, I actually think Chris Bosh probably would have been okay with getting some scraps as far as the money, because the way the money looked with three of them, I think they all had very similar salaries the way they matched it up. But I mean, just imagine if they all agreed to, break that down by four people and they all took even contracts to make it work. Hey, look, man, let's do something bigger than ourselves. Let's go get this ring. But here's my thing. Why wasn't everyone thinking of like Carmelo was thinking? Like, hell no, I'm 23 in my prime and I got something I'm building here. Why the hell would I leave to go team up? What happened to the mentality of I want to beat you? I don't want to play with you. It'll be that. I mean, that's nice because we're friends, but I supposed to want to beat you. We came in the same year. We all fighting for position. We all fighting for to climb that GOAT ladder or that all-time great ladder. And I want to prove that the guys that are my peers that I'm playing with, it'd really be nice if I could beat y'all. Like I have friends that I love playing with, but I also have friends that I really like competing against. Like competition is a great feeling, and to exit out all the competition by joining all the competition, like you wanted Bosh, Wade, and Melo, and we finding out that you tried to get CP3 as well. Like I did a show when CP3 was on Wade's podcast, and he talked about how they called him and was like, "Hey man, let's get it done." All right, but the deal fell through. They was trying to get a lot. They were trying to get all the talent, and then the sure they bench up, they go get Ray Allen, they go get Rashard, they go get Mike Miller, they go get Battier. I mean, this thing was I don't know. This was crazy to hear. I thought it was crazy when I heard the CP3 thing, but now to hear this, like everybody's letting the beans, they spilling the beans, man. Wade, CP3, Melo, they all spilling the beans, man. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because they all are LeBron's close friends, supposedly. But they're not holding water anymore, man. I tell it all. It's all this all for the for the public to hear, man. So I really thought that was interesting that that almost went down. And they tried to get that to go down. They tried to get that to work. Can you imagine though? Can you imagine that playing with Bosh, Wade, and Melo for LeBron? Like LeBron has to be the first superstar. The first superstar. Definitely the first player in the top 10 that's a superstar. To really have that mentality of I want to play with all my competition. Like the way Barkley and Michael Jordan were friends while they were playing, I don't think they ever talked about going to go team up and play with everybody. Because I mean, what it really boils down to is if I mean like put it this way. You said Mel go to bed. Put it this way, right? You got rivalry neighborhoods, and every neighborhood got their group of guys, their group of brothers and stuff like that. And we all play sports and stuff like that. The best player from each neighborhood, they always had that one guy, maybe two guys that was like the best. Like, hey man, I got this. I know my dude can beat your dude. I'll put him against anybody. That type of thing, right? So everybody had a crew from their neighborhoods, and everyone's neighborhood had that one guy that they just like everybody just agreed this. Now he's the one, right? And we would go from neighborhood to neighborhood, whether it was basketball or football, go from neighborhood to neighborhood with our crew, and we would compete against other neighborhoods, right? That was the thing, right? I couldn't imagine instead of me taking my crew to compete against your crew to see who got the best crew. I couldn't imagine going to each neighborhood and getting the guy that was supposed to be the one to form my own team and then go back and play my guys that thought that I was the best. Like, does that make sense? Like, if I got my own five and I'm the best, and let's say Larry got his own five from his neighborhood and Larry's the best, I couldn't imagine saying, well, Larry, if me, you, and three other best guys team up, we could go and beat my neighborhood and your neighborhood and their neighborhood. We take all the best guys and then just go beat the rest of the people. That's basically what LeBron was doing. Instead of me saying it'll be nice for me to just have my own crew, the teams are even. We all got a top guy, and then we all got some supporting cast. Let's see who can win. That's competition. That's what you're supposed to want. Not saying let's go get all the top guys, team up with them, and then brag about winning. Like, why would I brag about winning when I got all the top guys on my team? You can't even brag and celebrate that one. But he did some Jedi mind trick where everybody all of a sudden fell into that trap and was like, oh wow, let's celebrate his rings like they're actually something that he really accomplished something big by getting all the top guys. I beg to differ on that. Let me get into some of these comments, man. Let me get into some of these comments. D Wade said it was because of Kobe. I mean, he said that, right? But they had already been talking about it before Kobe. That's why he didn't have to say much when he seen Kobe win. He said he called LeBron, was like, what you gonna do? Because they had already been talking about it. They had already been talking about teaming up. But being that Kobe won another one, and it was like, dang, we ain't even playing for no championships right now. We got a team. We can't let Kobe get all of them. So now, hey, let's team up. You get what I'm saying? So that's what that was all about. All right. Yeah, you're right. That was go trade for CP3. This year is the year exposure. I agree. What about trying to get Kawhi on Lakers? Yeah, he tried to get Kawhi on the Lakers, PG-13, and Kevin Durant on the Lakers. He tried to get all those guys for sure. I absolutely love Melo's attitude on this. He was trying to build something, and that's more impactful than teaming up with everyone else. Melo understood what competition was about. Facts. And when you see Melo when he competed against Kobe, when Melo finally got Chauncey Billups, like he finally got one of those ones on his team. He always had good players. I mean, J.R. Smith was always good, but now we finding out he had major issues with George Karl. Him coming off the bench, like he never really got unleashed. Now he let him come off the bench and fire away. But I always wondered, like, man, what it would be like if J.R. Smith was embraced more to actually be him and play his game and not just be some instant offense guy that shoot threes and uncontested or contested threes and throw stuff up. Like I always wanted to see J.R. Smith unleash his game, right? Because I thought he was good. But they had J.R. Smith, they had Kenyon Martin, they had Camby. But that team really came together when Billups showed up. And when you see Melo, Billups, and Denver compete against the Lakers in that Western Conference Final, oh man, that's probably some of the best Carmelo Anthony that you go see, man. Better than anything I seen in New York for sure. Oh shoot, he said I'm from a little town outside of Greensboro, and me and my guys went to other towns to play their guys. We rarely played with them because that wasn't the point. We were trying to take your court. A little town outside of Greensboro. What town is that? Because I'm from Greensboro and my neighborhood was Smith Homes. So I was from the south side. So what small town outside of Greensboro? Was it High Point? What's outside? What's right outside of Greensboro? Is either High Point or I don't know. You're gonna have to let me know about that. Yeah, you're gonna have to let me know about that. So let's do this. Let's open the phone lines up really quick. I'll take 1 or 2 phone calls. Let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. Carmelo Anthony spilling the beans about, hey, that was plans for a big 4. Not that's not just a super team. That would be a super duper team. That would be a dream team. That's all you can take that to the Olympics absolutely you can take that to the Olympics. A squad with Melo, um, Madison going back toward Martinsville, Rockingham County. I got family from down there. I got family from Kendall. Um, that's going. I don't know if Martinsville or Madison is going south at all. But if you go south, you hit Kendall, which is, I don't know if it's Rockingham County, but it might. As a matter of fact, it might be after what, because that we was Montgomery County, so we're a little bit further than Rockingham. But I had some family in Rockingham as well. But I guess that's Rockingham County as well. So let me take this phone call. Caller from Texas. Go ahead. Yeah, what's up?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, man? Love your show.
Hey, man, appreciate
this,
it.
Big salute.
What's up?
So I was not much, man. So I was listening to you. I believe what Carmelo was saying was the way he set the team up. He's not sure if he's going to be the fourth option or not, because if you look at it, when he went to the Olympics, the first time when you had Larry Brown, they was who was it? You had them boys side-eyeing Larry Brown because he went starving and he was killing them jokers in the practice. And that's with Wade and LeBron on the team. When Coach K got a hold of the Olympic team, he made Carmelo the number one option because he can shoot. He was too fast for a power forward, and he was too big for a small forward.
Correct. Now you're right.
Then I look at,
Carmelo Anthony. I mean, if you're talking about Olympics, if not including Michael Jordan and the Dream Team, but anything after that, I haven't seen a better player in FIBA play other than Carmelo Anthony and Kevin Durant. Like those are the best two I've seen in that format. Carmelo Anthony was unreal.
Yes, he was. And then you had Wade. I see where Wade was coming from when he called LeBron those guys, say what you're doing. Because you got to remember, he already had a championship and an MVP under his belt. And his competition he was looking at was Kobe. Kobe had 2 MVPs with 5 rings. Wade was feeling like, even with all these guys, I can get one more MVP if we bust out 3 to 4 more rings. Because he should have had the first MVP against Dallas if it wasn't for LeBron, shutting down camp, saying, it's no way I'm going to win my first ring as Batman, as Robin to Batman.
Ain't no hold on. I never thought about that. You think that's why he shut down, or you think he got shut down by the defense?
Yes. No, that defense didn't shut him down. I watched the whole season. I had it on VCR, believe it or not. I had so the first game they looked good. Wade had good numbers. Braun had a little bit better numbers. Second game, I don't know if you remember, but that was winning that game with Wade killing. LeBron didn't do much. They put the starters on the bench, let LeBron come back out in the fourth quarter. He shot 2 ill-advised threes, which led to Dallas getting 2 to 3 threes in a row, and they had to bring all the starters back out. That's how they lost game 2. After that, I mean, because LeBron is one of the top 5 basketball players ever. Do you really believe that they stopped him from doing anything, rebounding, assisting, scoring? J.J. Barea, the old Jet, it's no way. He shut it down. Look at him. Look at his energy. Do you remember when he was cussing out the sideline? And he said, yeah, we trying to push each other like that. No, they weren't pushing each other. Well, that's what they have wrong with you. Wade had that MVP on lock. And he would have had his 2 MVPs just like Kobe. And then he could have ran, they could have got 2 more. And he would have been 1 more ring away from him.
Sheesh. I ain't never look at it like that, man. Maybe I need to rewatch those games.
Watch the tape, brother. Watch where the energy went after game 2 loss. Watch where the energy went. J.J. Barea, and then who was holding J.J. Barea in the Jet? You really look at it. LeBron was getting sagged off those guys. Now you tell me he couldn't stop him. That wasn't old LeBron James who could play defense. That was LeBron James who could play defense, who was young, just as young as he was on that court. And J.J. Barea and the Jet they really outscored, outplayed LeBron without him having some say to it. And then next year, Wade got to say, hey, you know what we figured out? I got to hand the reins over to LeBron.
Very interesting. And you're right. He did do that. He said, man, I got to take a step back, man. I got the best player in the world on my team, and I got to take a step back. I never heard nobody say that about the best player in the world, that he had to take a step back. I mean, the only person that could have been close is I could see if Shaq and Kobe stayed together, at some point Shaq was going to have to come to that realization, which he did with Wade. He realized with Wade, I need to take a step back. I made this mistake twice with Kobe and Penny Hardaway, right?
Well, he came to that conclusion with GP. It was there.
Yeah.
GP the one said he told him, like, let this young guy, he got it, man. You gotta let him get it. Because they wasn't wanting if Shaq kept pushing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Wade was the catalyst in that championship, and just like when he had LeBron on the team, those boys over there, they couldn't stop Wade still.
Yeah, that's true. Flash was a different animal, man. Like, and he just recently said, man, he saw himself in that same conversation with Kobe, and he felt like before the injuries, with the success he's seen early on, he felt like he could go and catapult himself into that GOAT conversation. But I appreciate the phone call, man. I take that off the air, man. I move to the next one.
Hey, no, too easy, brother. Hey, keep doing what you're doing.
All right, no doubt. Thank you. Yeah, man. Dang, he giving me something to think about, man. I never thought about LeBron, holding back a little bit in that series. It really looked like they had his number. It really looked like that, forcing him to shoot mid range and backing off him and giving him the three when he wasn't really comfortable with the three back then. I'm sorry, I almost sneezed. But it really looked like Denver caused that meltdown, but I never looked at it from that angle where maybe he held back for one reason or another. So I think that was interesting. Let's move on. Right. So I also stumbled across Grant Hill. And this is interesting because Grant Hill won't stop talking. And the funny thing about this is he had an opportunity when he first snubbed Jaylen Brown. I ain't even gonna say he snubbed him. So you got Kawhi Leonard, a small forward, leaves the team for injury or for whatever reason, personal reason. He leaves the Olympic team, goes back home. Now you need a replacement. Quite naturally, you would think if you built the team based on those players, those positions, and you lose somebody, like right now, if you lose Joel Embiid, you might think in your head, I need to replace him with another big man because we want 3 big men. So if you sat down and, this is not something y'all came up with overnight. If you sat down with everybody that's helping you pick this team and you saw fit to have Kawhi Leonard, a wing player, a small forward, a defender, and a scorer, you saw fit to have Kawhi and you lose Kawhi, like people would think that it would make more sense to replace him with someone who can replace some of the things he did on the floor, defend and score at a high level, which is what Jaylen Brown does, which is what he's displayed for sure this season and this playoff and this finals. So you would really think that would be the obvious choice. However, not only you go to a whole different position, you actually get someone from his team, which was the 3rd Boston Celtic that you put on their squad, and you left him out. And I'm thinking in my head, how tacky can you be? Like, you got to think about some of these things. Like, yeah, I get you trying to supposedly make a basketball decision, but you also got to think about the optics, the politics, and all that stuff. Because I know you was thinking about that, but because that was the reason why Kyrie Irving's not on the squad. Like, what other reason would Kyrie not be on the squad if it wasn't for optics and politics? Like, we're not dumb. So when he was first asked about why he left Brown off, and only thing he could really say was it was a basketball decision, but he didn't go into any detail. All right. But now that people are talking about it and calling it out, you want to go on Dan Patrick's show to talk. Now, mind you, this is someone that's in Paris. Maybe he's not in Paris. I don't know. I would think he was in Paris, but somebody in Paris with the team who's focused on the team. But I don't know if Dan Patrick called you for an interview or your agent called and said, let's set this up, because no one takes interviews like this without knowing, are you going to ask me this? Hey, look, don't ask me this. We're not talking about that right now. A case may be. So I know that regardless if Dan Patrick called him or his agent called Dan Patrick and said, I need to do an interview, I know he wanted to get this word out. Whatever he said about this situation, he wanted us to hear for whatever reason. Right. And he made it worse. Listen.
All right. Explain the philosophy of how you build the team that Jaylen Brown didn't make the roster, but his teammate Derek White does. What goes into that decision?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
I just think that's funny. He said, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That's why I mentioned that. I know these dudes know at least most of the questions is going to be asked them, especially if it's a hot topic. Hey, I'm coming on the show, but I don't want to talk about that. This is something they agreed to talk about. But the phoniness, this is how you know you about to get lied to. This is how I know you about to get some propaganda. Yeah, I'm glad you asked me that question. I'm glad you brought it up. Try to act surprised like he didn't know that question was coming. I don't like that. I don't like phoniness.
We went to training camp and we didn't have KD. KD was out, Kevin Durant, sort of coming back from a calf injury. And then Jason Tatum was late for arrival. He didn't show up the first 2 or 3 days.
That's another interesting point, but that's a topic for another day, because somebody just said Jason Tatum is playing 0 minutes, and Grant Hill just mentioned he showed up late 2 or 3 days, right? So maybe this is punishment. Hey man, you go miss 1 game. Maybe this is punishment for him being late to show up for camp.
So, we ended up having to sort of play Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo together. And we didn't know if that would work. I think going into camp, we thought, let's have 3 centers, much like in '96 when we had Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, and Shaquille O'Neal. And we'll rotate. All 3 of them are different. They provide different things. And so we'll have sort of a 3-headed monster at the center position. But what we found, because we didn't have the numbers those first few days, was that Bam Adebayo and Anthony Davis can really play well together on both ends of the floor. And at times might be our best defensive lineup. So we kind of stumbled upon something, and we learned something about our group during those 4 days in Vegas. And so when we pivoted off.
Rule number 1 of someone lying to you, you ask a simple question and they take you the long way to the answer. You shouldn't have to tell me a story to answer my question.
Off of Kawhi Leonard, we said, okay, we got a little bit of a log jam now at the 4 position. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, now Bam Adebayo. All these guys can play the 4, and we envisioned them playing the 4. And so, okay, let's not bring another guy who might play that 3-4 position in. Let's bring in someone now who can really give us great defense at the point of attack. That was also a priority for putting.
Who can give better defense at the point of attack than Jaylen Brown? Jaylen Brown was guarding Luka a lot of the game. What are we talking about, Grant Hill? What are we talking about? Have you not seen Jaylen Brown play defense and play defense 94 feet and switch and guard bigger people in the paint and switch and guard smaller people at the point guard position? Like, seriously, give me Jaylen Brown.
This team together, being able to pick up full court, guard and pressure the point guards of opposing teams. And Drew Holiday might be the best in the world at doing this. But having some injuries that we had during camp, well, what happens if Drew gets hurt? And so Derek White might be the second best in the world at point of attack defense. So that was sort of the thought process. But we really learned about our team those days in Vegas and discovered something with Bam Adebayo and Anthony Davis on the court together that we really weren't thinking about prior to our arrival in Vegas.
Did you call Jaylen Brown to tell him?
Grant Hill is a fat Faison lie. None of that made sense. And it was a lot of words. None of it made sense. You're not going to convince me Jaylen Brown can't defend as well as a Drew Holiday or Derek White. He can. He probably defends better than Derek White. Derek White is a great defender for sure. Jaylen Brown is a very great defender. I have no clue what Grant Hill trying to sell us, but I'm not buying.
Or explain this to him?
I spoke to his agent, and I spoke to his agent. We, I don't know if that was before or after, things went out on Twitter, but yeah, I mean, I think this idea that there's a conspiracy theory. I always love a good conspiracy theory, but it was really truly a basketball decision, and these are tough decisions, but having gone through this with the FIBA competition, you want to find the right balance and the right pieces on the court that we needed. And not to say that he wouldn't have been good. There's a lot of guys. You can go on a list of guys who are very capable and very, very, very qualified. But, for where we were, it was the right decision. And Derek White, I think, will help us as we pursue goal.
Yeah, it still don't make sense to me. Right. So basically, and that was disrespectful for him to say when he asked him specifically, did you talk to Jaylen Brown about this? Because Jaylen Brown's been talking about this a lot, and he think Nike has something to do with it, and rightfully so. Right. I mean, it's a common denominator. Kyrie is not there. Brown's not there. Nike might have something to do with it. I mean, it just really makes sense. Right. So, but for Grant Hill to come out here and be asked about this dude, and the first thing come out of your mouth is, I like a good conspiracy theory. You know what I mean? And this is Jaylen Brown responding to that on X. Grant Hill calling me a conspiracy theorist is disappointing. I've been a vice president since I was 21 years old, and I have a great understanding. He's trying to remind Grant Hill that I'm not a dummy. I'm not a dummy. It's got 7 million views as of right before this show. 7 million views. 7 million people saw that. I'm not a dummy, Grant Hill. Right? You can't feed me pork chop and tell me I'm eating chicken. I know the difference. Right? I know who had something to do with it. I'm not an idiot. Stop going in line to people. The fact that you even wanted to go on Dan Patrick's show and talk about this lets me know someone put you up to it. Who volunteers in the middle of the Olympics? Who volunteers to go do an interview on Dan Patrick for what? Why was and even if you did want to go in there for whatever, no one agrees to go on interviews unless they're getting paid for the interview, or they're promoting something, or they have a message they want to get out to the masses. So tell me what reason that Grant Hill take a break from Olympic play to go on Dan Patrick's show to do a 15, 20-minute video interview. Why do you think Grant Hill went on Dan Patrick? Who called who? Who set it up? Why did he agree to it? Why was he okay with that question? Because he wanted to be asked that question so he can get the word out, so he can give it that explanation that he just rehearsed before he came on there. Oh yeah, it was about position, and bam, and AD showed us a different dynamic, and now we don't want a forward, and we wanted a guard, a point of attack guard. Why the hell you didn't think about all that when they first asked you why you snubbed Jaylen Brown? Why you didn't say that you wanted a point of attack guard? Why are you offering it up now? Why be 2.5, 3 weeks late with it and expect people to believe it? Like I don't understand that. Right. So Grant Hill is lying. He was lying from the beginning, and it's best if he just stopped talking. Like, just stop making it worse. Stop talking. We know what it is. We cool with it. We got it. We got it, Grant Hill. Your hands tied behind your back. But don't let them put you up to go out there and start lying and lying and lying. Like, make this your last time talking about this, man, because you look bad. You look real bad, man. So that's my thought about that. I did want to get into the other person that everyone felt like was snubbed as well, and that's Caitlin Clark. Now, this one is a little different, right? So this one has a machine and a fan base behind it. Oh man, this is a unique fan base. I'm like, seriously, like, these people are threatening to boycott the Olympics. As a matter of fact, is one channel on YouTube. I won't say the channel name, but they're pro Caitlin Clark. And sometimes I watch their videos because I want to hear what the Clark fans or the Clark fanatics or the, whatever you want to call it. I want to hear what they saying and what they think. I want to read their comments and see what makes them tick and all that stuff. So I watch. It's like 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 Caitlin Clark channels, and I'm not talking about like a sports channel that every now and then I talk about Clark like me. I'm talking about a channel that only talks about Caitlin Clark. Like, they don't talk about NBA. Then it's supposed to be a WNBA channel, but they only talk about Clark. I'm looking at those type channels just to see what the content creators that are saying and what their people that subscribe to their channel are saying in the comment section. Right, it's very interesting. I think it's a great case study. If you get bored one day, find your Clark a pro Clark channel, watch some of the video, and then go in the comment section and just enjoy yourself. Right, I'm gonna show you some of those comments, but those people are very similar to another group of people who just so happened to storm the Capitol when their favorite person wasn't elected as president. And people that similar to that responded to Caitlin Clark not being selected for the Olympics team, and they're not going to storm the Capitol, thank God, but they are calling for a boycott of the entire Olympics, specifically women's basketball. They're trying to tank the ratings to send a message home to NBC. And one of the videos I watched today was a disappointment because this content creator was a little frustrated because NBC came out with the ratings for the first day of the Olympics, opening day, and they were through the roof. So in his video, he was saying to his followers, the boycott isn't working. What happened? And I go in the comment section and they're talking about the ratings are false. NBC is lying. Those aren't the real ratings. I don't know anyone who watch. My family isn't watching. It's just, just more of that. And it's just really unique, right? But anyway, you go hear a lot of them coming up this week starting tomorrow because Don Staley was interviewed and asked. And Don Staley, of course, coach of South Carolina, who also is on the staff for the Women's Olympics and also part of the selection committee on how they selected the team. So she was asked about leaving Caitlin Clark off. This is what she said.
U.S. women will figure it out as they start their play tomorrow. Obviously, the heavy favorites haven't lost a game in 32 years. There was so much conversation about women's basketball. The run you, South Carolina, had to the national championship, a perfect season. Obviously, Caitlin Clark. And there was so much conversation on, should Caitlin be on the U.S. women's national team? You were part of the selection group. Mm-hmm. Give me your read on that now that we've got a little bit of time and we can get into some clear air to see what happened.
Right. When as a committee member, you're charged with putting together best team of players, the best talent. Caitlin is just a rookie in the WNBA. Wasn't playing bad, but wasn't playing like she's playing now. If we had to do it all over again, the way that she's playing, she would be in really high consideration of making the team because she is playing head and shoulders above a lot of people, shooting the ball extremely well. She is an elite passer. She's just got a great basketball IQ, and she's a little more seasoned in the pro game
in a couple of months.
Yeah, in a couple of months than she was 2 months ago.
That's great perspective to add there. Let's look at the schedule here.
So and so I'm glad she said that. And she knows not to take the bait. She knows how to be, politically correct. And she knows that when questions like this are asked, um, you know, some of the things you can say can cause a storm, and sometimes there's no way from preventing a storm. So I think she dodged a little. She did that well, because if she doubled down and was like, "No, we picked this. We selected the best people, the best females for the team, and we like the team that we got." Caitlin Clark fans would have came for her really bad. Now, Caitlin Clark fans are still creating content off this soundbite, but it's more of a "we told you so." We could have told you that a long time ago. We told you that she was good, blah, 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 which is not true, because that's not what they were saying. What they were saying was, we don't care if she's not playing well and she's not good. You need the promotion. You need to promote the game. Put her on the team for ratings and all of this stuff. So basically what they were saying, we know she's not 12. She's not a top 12 player in the league. We know she's not the best. We know she's probably not even top 15. We know that. We know she's not good enough, but she's popular enough, and you need the free promote. You need to promote her so you can promote the game. That's what they were saying. Send her to the Olympics, as a DEI, send her to the Olympics because she's popular, which is crazy, because Taylor Swift more popular than her. So if you want to promote the game, you don't need Caitlin Clark popularity. Just go get Taylor Swift. You seen what she did with the Chiefs. All she did was sit in the daggone booth, and they put the camera on her 5 times a game. So if you really want to promote the game, let's bring in some Taylor Swift fans. That's basically what they're saying. They're saying, look, the fans that are following her are fanatics, and they'll follow her wherever she go, just like Taylor Swift. That's what they're saying. Send her to the Olympics as a spectacle, and her fans will follow. If you don't send her to the Olympics, then her fans are going to boycott. That's basically, they're threatening to boycott. But this is not the first time they said this, right? They were supposed to boycott the WNBA. And I got the, well, first of all, before I even get to that, I just want to pinpoint the comment that Don Staley made. I'm going to go back a little bit further, right before the championship game, where a reporter asked her a question that was supposed to put her in a duo twist. That's one of the questions that it don't matter how you answer. If you answer this way, you're wrong. If you answer this way, you're wrong. If you avoid answering it, then you're still wrong. So when I ask you this question, I got you, right? I want you to listen how this went, just so you can get an idea of how Don Staley plays with her answers when she's asked these questions. That's why I understand that she had to say that about Caitlin. Yeah, she would, but she didn't even say that she would be on the team. She said the way she's playing now, she would be in high consideration, which means that we'll give her a deeper look and consider her even more now than we did then, because she just was not one of the best ones that deserved to be on the team at that time. Now she's playing, so she's adjusted to the professional game. We can see her striving. We can see that, hey, she might can fit. But even still, what she's striving at is not really her scoring, it's at her passing. And just because you're the best passer in the league, some people would say, doesn't mean that you need to be on this team, because when you have great players, one of the things you really don't need that much is a great passer. These dudes and these girls can get their own shot. They don't need a phenomenal passer, right? I don't remember Tashina Pinachero when she was the best passer in the league. I don't remember people crying and saying, "Oh, please put her on the Olympic team." But listen to Don Staley field this question.
Just talked about, what a massive weekend this is, obviously, for women's basketball, women's sports in general. One of the major issues facing women's sports right now is the discussion topic about the inclusion of transgender athletes, biological males, in women's sports. I was wondering if you would tell me your position on that issue.
Listen to this pause, and then she took a sip of water.
Damn, you got deep on me, then. I'm under the opinion of If you're a woman, you should play. If you consider yourself a woman and you want to play sports or vice versa, you should be able to play. That's my opinion. You want me to go deeper?
Do you think transgender women should be able to participate
That's your question you want me to ask. I mean, you want to ask, so I'll give you that. Yes. So now the barnstorm of people are going to flood my timeline and be a distraction to me on one of the biggest days of our game. And I'm okay with that. I really am.
I remember when they asked her that. Why would you get her on the stage right before the national championship and ask her a question about transgenders? I just don't understand it. Like, you a sports reporter. How is this even a hot topic? Why does it matter that the coach that's coaching one of the teams representing the final two? Why that question is relevant, I don't know. But the way she answered it, they just and what makes me mad with the media is they obviously heard that she didn't want to answer the question. They obviously heard that she just threw an answer out there that she probably didn't even believe in. She just threw an answer out there based on, okay, if I go this way, I'm going to get this group of people after me. If I go this way, I'm going to get this group of people after me. And she was just weighing her option. Which group did I want to come after me? All right, I answered this way. You could sense that in her response. Like, I really don't even freaking care. And it's obvious, like, it's women's basketball. Come on, man. Like, you trying to set me up to say something so it look like I hate a particular community. And I'm like, man, come on, man. Why would you do that, right? So she just threw an answer at that. So she's used to this. She know how to field these questions, and she know how to say what she needs to say. And when she was asked the Caitlin Clark question, she said what she needed to say. At the end of the day, when they came up and when they selected the team, Caitlin Clark wasn't good enough, and they didn't think that it was important enough to say, well, even though she's not good enough, let's put her on the team because we think that her fan base will follow her wherever she goes. Well, did anybody ever consider that the attention that her fans bring to the game might not be wanted? And I mean, like, seriously, it might not be wanted. Right? Like, just because you think it's a good thing doesn't mean that everyone wants it. I remember being in the Navy, and we had a tsunami. We were kind of close to the Philippines. My ship was out to sea, kind of close enough. It was close enough. We was the closest ship to the Philippines when the Philippines had a huge tsunami come through. Was it a tsunami? It might have been the Philippines had a huge tsunami come through. It was bad. Tore the island up, right? Killed a lot of people. Water, they only got water plant. Water plant was done, out for the count. They didn't have no water. They had no running water. Houses off the foundation. Churches off the foundation. A yacht in the middle of the street, like way away from the water. I mean, that lets you know how bad the tsunami was. It was a freaking yacht, like, in the middle of the street, right? So, I mean, it was bad, right? And I was an engineer at the time. You know, I was an electrician, and we was putting together a team of engineers to go with our tools and offer them assistance to get in there and fix their generator so we can get their water running. So we had this meeting set up. We all showed up. We was ready to go. And our leadership was out there having this conversation with this guy that runs the plant. And he was like, no, our stuff is good. Everything is running. We're fine. They kept lying to us saying, no, nothing's broken. Nothing's broken. We're fine. We're good. We're good. We're good. We couldn't convince them to let us fix their water plant. Why? Because they don't trust Americans and they don't want our help because they knew it was some strings attached, right? They knew it was some strings attached. They did not want our help. They didn't want it, which is similar to what it is with Caitlin Clark. Everyone of her fans and the media keep saying, Put Caitlin Clark here. Promote Caitlin Clark. Put her on the Olympic team. Do this, do that, do that. They're doing all of that because they're saying, not because she's good enough, not because she's the best, but because she's the most popular and she grew the game. But have it ever occurred to you that maybe they don't want her fans? Maybe they don't want them. Have it ever occurred to you that her fans are toxic? So all this help you're trying to help the league with and help grow the WNBA, we'll rather grow some other way because we don't want that fan base. Why would you? Let's remind you of what this fan base is about. Y'all remember these tweets? This was before she really started playing decent basketball. This was like, but in the first 6 or 7 games that she was playing, and they losing left and right. She's looking bad. People are complaining, saying that the girls are jealous of her, and that's why they're playing defense. And then you had to foul the little hip thrust bump and all this stuff. Oh, they're jealous. They're jealous. They're jealous. They're jealous. Why they're defending her like this? They're picking up 94 feet, and she's just playing as hard as she want to play. Turnovers all over the place. She flopping. She can't hit no threes. Just not look at they losing, right? Look at these tweets. These are not even tweets. These just like I told you before. I don't even follow. I look at some of their content creators that are pro or all Caitlin Clark channels. I just go to them so I can study them. And this was after a big win. This was Aaliyah Boston's best game so far in the season. She finally broke through. She looked like she was in shape. She was scoring, and they featured her in that game. They won. They looked good, but guess what? Caitlin Clark fans were not happy. Look at the top comment. Good for Boston, because Boston played good, right? But yes, trade Caitlin. She's box office. No one wants to watch this show. Let Caitlin be Caitlin. So the show that they're talking about is Aaliyah Boston scoring over 20 points and rebounding over 10 rebounds and being featured in this offense. She was unstoppable. Nobody could stop her from getting to a shot. But they're mad, and then they won. But Caitlin Clark fans didn't care about the win, didn't care that her teammate had a good game. They was mad because they couldn't see Caitlin shoot 40-foot threes like she did at Iowa. They weren't satisfied with Caitlin Clark being a point guard and getting her teammates involved. They didn't like that. This is not what I watched the WNBA for. Look at the second comment. This for sure was the most unsatisfying win this season. What the hell is an unsatisfying win? Third comment, good win. But if Caitlin is going to be a decoy, why did they draft her? Any other guard can decoy. So basically they're saying if you got Caitlin, you don't use her in a way where you can win. You use her in a way that she can be her. Get another guard if you just go let her be a decoy. CC needs to be traded. Last comment. Just said this in another comment thread. And I say it over and over. If Sides doesn't realize the thoroughbred racehorse she has in Caitlin Clark and insists on turning her into a mere track pony, and there's every indication that that's the case, the fans are going to bail. Remember, this ain't the first time they threatened to disappear. They said they're going to boycott the Olympics as well. But before they was going to boycott the Olympics, they was going to boycott the WNBA. They said the fans are going to bail if we can't see Caitlin Clark do what she did at Iowa. We didn't sign up for this. We didn't sign up to watch her just play basketball. We signed up to watch her do what she did in Iowa. I have to see that. I don't care about the wins. I don't care about her teammates playing well. I don't care about her team playing well. I just want to see Caitlin. These are the fans that they want to offer us to help grow the game. Hell no. No. These are weeds. These are weeds. These are tares that's going to grow and choke the wheat. These tares, these weeds look like wheat, but they're not weak. They're going to choke up the wheat. You're supposed to pull these up from the roots. Get rid of these. These are weeds. These are tares. We don't want them. They shouldn't grow in the same field with the wheat. These aren't real fans. They don't like basketball. These are Trump supporters that hitched their wagon to Caitlin Clark. First comment. CC going to have to stand around and watch the other team members stumble through their shots. I can buy a poster for my wall. What a waste of time. Second comment. Back to the old circus. Caitlin should ask for a trade. Size is ruining her career. They want her to be traded so she can play a style that they want to see. Purposely holding Caitlin back, and then her numbers will just be average, and they can declare mission accomplished. Winning is no longer the goal. They just won. They just won the game. Wokeness, LGBTQ, and politics come first. So they blaming Caitlin Clark's poor play on wokeness, LGBT, and politics. Tell me this don't sound like a certain fan base on the political side. This game was a S show. We don't want to watch this type of basketball. The type of basketball they was watching was Aaliyah Boston exploiting mismatches down low and winning the game for them. CC is the only one who can play basketball and entertain us at the same time. The only one. Nobody else in the league. Not Arike, not Aja Wilson, not Raquel Jackson, not Bonner, not Skylar Diggins, not Jewel Lord, not Kelsey Plum. Nobody else is entertaining. Only Caitlin. Well, that sounds like someone who just started watching WNBA basketball. Probably just started watching basketball, period. Last comment, it's about time Boston plays above her mediocre play all season. Atlanta is the worst team in the league. Size is revolving the game plan away from Clark. It's like she's taking the ball out of her hands. Lord have mercy. They won the game. Lord have mercy, they won the game. Mitchell had a good first half. Forget it. Let's go to the third comment. I didn't start watching WNBA to watch boring basketball. If you're not going to use CC, then trade her. Trade CC to an effing team that matters. Last comment. When can CC ask for a trade? If that's what she wants to do. The game tonight was quite boring to watch. Just feels like Size isn't trying to build up CC as the cornerstone of the offense. Who talks like this? Right? And here's a guy that tried to speak sense in their head. This is him at the top comment. I disagree. Caitlin may have not scored many points, but the Fever punished the Dream for constantly blitzing Caitlin. Caitlin was making the right pass out of the double team, and the Fever were attacking the basket 4-on-3. The last run to take the lead back was initiated by Caitlin, creating 3 scoring opportunities for her teammates on 3 straight possessions. They also let Boston get back to her comfort zone in the post, and she looked like the best she looked all year. So a breakout game for Boston, and Caitlin Clark making the right plays when she was getting blitzed and double teamed off the screen, right? So he came with sound logic and basketball analysis. Here are the people in the response. Bench players can do that. Passing and posting, that's not her game. Then when the boat is sinking, that's when Sides make a play for her. So when they lose, she would throw her under the bus again. Soon Clark fans will stop watching, but they will support her, whatever team she would be. Clark fans just go stop watching because we can't see what we want to see. Last comment down at the bottom, scoring is her game. Teams are clearly trying. Just forget about it. I mean, this fan base is delusional, man. I mean, it's unreal, man. Who said she did? I was pointing out she did. You hooked on it, man. Hold on, let me see these comments. see these comments. Yeah, for sure. I remember how they called Boston trash. Now they calling her and Caitlin Malone and Stockton right. But all of it was based on the fact that Clark fans was frustrated because they came to the WNBA from what they seen in at the Iowa in college and in NCAA, and they assumed because the media was telling them this is the best female basketball player that God ever made, and she's about to go to the WNBA and immediately be the best player. She's better than all those girls right now. And the Clark fans that just started watching basketball believed it. So when they followed her over to the WNBA and realized, oh, shoot, she's not the best, but she still is the best. The only reason why she don't look like it is because the females are jealous and the league is jealous and they're all in cahoots trying to stop her. So they was frustrated at first. Then they realized, nah, man, these girls are really better than Caitlin. So what can we complain about next? Oh, it's her teammates. Oh, it's the coach. And all of this crazy stuff. But the real truth is she's a really good player. Her best attribute is probably her passing. And the scoring that you've seen her do at Iowa, you probably won't see that again. You just probably won't. You know, she's got a lot of Jason Williams in her game. Jason Williams was a point guard that was flashy. He could pass his butt off. He took threes off balance, pull up threes on the fast break. You know, like she played just like Jason Williams when he was at Sacramento. But the interesting thing about Jason Williams is all of that was exciting. And a lot of the passes he threw to Chris Webber was highlights. But Sacramento really started playing better basketball and went to another level once they traded Jason Williams for Mike Bibby. Mike Bibby actually was a better fit for that Sacramento team and more conducive to winning. So yes, the pull-up threes, he pulled it up from deep as well. He shoot it from 40 feet. He'll shoot it on the fast break. It can be 3-on-2. He'll pull up for 3 and shoot the 3. And the passes was just crazy. Behind the back, through the legs, behind the back, off the elbow, over the head, no look. He was just like Caitlin Clark. But just because your passes is great and you can pull up threes from 40, don't make you a great basketball player. Mike Bibby was better suited for winning than Jason Williams was. But that's all I got to say about that, man. Last topic. And this is considered this is gonna be good. This one's good. Draymond Green. I did a show on Draymond Green before. And that was him trying to explain why LeBron was the GOAT. And he just recently went on the 520 podcast, which is Jeff Teague's podcast. And they asked him again. People, when I tell you this is by far the worst case and the worst explanation for why someone is the GOAT. Like, you have to, like this is so bad that it's almost like somebody paid him to make Bron look bad. Like somebody's paying, like you can't purposely say, yeah, I'm advocating for LeBron as the GOAT, and this is your reasoning. Man, listen to this.
We hate the Jordan and Bron debate, but I just want to ask you, like, what separates them on the court to you?
What separates them on the court to me
make you give Bron the push?
What separates them on the court to me is, I think, number one, Bron's intention to make people better. The guys that LeBron has made better, like, did you see them play without him?
Yeah, it is.
Like, come on. He was
an all-star with Bron. About Boobie Gibson.
Exactly.
His household name.
And he was intentional about making those guys better.
Yeah.
MJ made guys better just because of how good he was.
Yeah.
Stop. First of all, he tried to answer the question. He said, yo, that was horrible. All right. So he attempted like 6 different times to start his explanation. And he just kept like Paul, like he couldn't get to it. Like, oh no, I can go say that. No, I can't say that. Like he really don't know why he think LeBron. I don't think he think LeBron is the GOAT. So if you go lie for me, I need you to get your lie straight. Like, don't be the friend where hey, look, man, hey, yeah, big dog, I'm going over here, but I told my girl I'm going over here. So if she asks you, make sure you cover for me. Don't be the dude that your explanation sounds like this, where you trying to back somebody up. Like, you get what I'm saying? You trying to have my back and your explanation sound like that. What was he at? Where was he at? Where was he at? Okay, so well, he wasn't here. Like, that's basically what Draymond was doing. But his explanation was because LeBron is intentional about making guys better. And then he said, you know what I mean? And that was it. And then he said, Michael Jordan, he made guys better, but only because he was good. Like, he made guys better because he was so good, but he didn't try to make them better. He just made them better by being good. What? So one guy is purposely making someone better. Like, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna strategically help you get better. But he's saying that Michael Jordan was just out there just playing, and he just rubbed off on people and they got better. Who cares? So you telling me they both made people better, but one of them did it on purpose and the other one did it by mistake? Draymond Green, that can't be your argument. That can't be your argument. Jordan made people better by mistake and LeBron did it on purpose. How is that your argument? And furthermore, let's just, for the sake of the argument, let's just pretend like that makes sense and it's relevant, that somebody did it on purpose and somebody did it by mistake just by being good, right? How do you on purpose make somebody better? Because you're saying that this is a point for LeBron James because he purposely made somebody better. What did LeBron do to make somebody better? And who is that player that he made better? Because better means you start here and I have to show something I did to take you from here to here as a player. So to me, that sounds like Scottie Pippen didn't get a scholarship to a D1 school or a school that was, had a big program. So that tells me that he wasn't that great coming out of high school. So you go to Arkansas Pine Bluff or whatever school he went to, and you hit a 6-inch growth spurt. So you wasn't on the basketball team, and then you grew 6 inches, and then you got on the basketball team. So you probably wasn't that good, but the fact that you're 6'7" now and a great athlete, now you're growing. Then you get drafted. Now you're on the Bulls. Your rookie season, you average about, 6 points. You average 6 points your rookie season. So obviously you were at this level as a rookie, 6 points. Now, do we have any evidence that Michael Jordan purposely did anything to help Scottie Pippen get better? Well, we do know that they talked about how good Michael Jordan practiced and how he pushed his teammates. That would be evidence of what he did that rubbed off on Pippen. We also have documented that Michael Jordan had a trainer named Tim Grover who actually got him in tip-top shape. And he also told Tim Grover, I want you to train Scottie Pippen this summer as well. So he went and trained Scottie Pippen. So they had the same trainer to get themselves in tip-top shape. Well, that's evidence that Michael Jordan did something on purpose to make Pippen better, right? And then we see Pippen go from averaging 6 points to being an all-star. So we have Pippen at a low level. We have Michael Jordan doing things on purpose for Scottie Pippen, and then he went to an all-star level, superstar level, top 50 player of all time level. So that's making someone better. Now, on the other end, Boobie Gibson, did he get better? Because he didn't have a long career. He's out of the league. He didn't play long. He played about 4 or 5 years. Did he get better? I don't think so. Chris Bosh, did Chris Bosh get better, or did his numbers drop? Kevin Love, did he get better? Like, Kevin Love was already all-star level. Chris Bosh was already all-star, superstar level. Kyrie Irving was already all-star, borderline superstar level. D-Wade was already superstar level. Kyle Korver was already all-star with Atlanta before he got with LeBron. Anthony Davis was already all-star, superstar level before he got with LeBron. J.R. Smith was already a sixth man of the year before he got with LeBron. Ray Allen was already a superstar champion, all-star level when he got with LeBron. Rashard Lewis was already all-star. Mike Miller was already what he was and a great shooter. Like, I don't see no one that came to LeBron at this level, and I don't see any evidence of LeBron doing something that took them from this level to that level. That's what making someone better really means. So it makes no sense, Draymond Green, for you to say what you said, and there's even if it did make sense, that you don't have any legs to stand on with it, because you're not telling us what LeBron did to make someone better, and you're not telling us who he made better. Who was here that went from here off of something that LeBron did?
It wasn't like, I think this way, so I'm going to do this to get this guy this. No, you just so good that then that guy can get off of how good you are.
Yeah.
And I think that's a different thing. I also think a 2-year break in the middle of a crazy run is like, that's heaven on earth. To have 2 years off from this thing that we do in the middle of a run and then come back and keep, like, bro, like, you can't act like he just went 6 in a row. Like,
But he went to go play baseball.
He left and came back in a crazy sport.
I love baseball. I'm a big Yankee fan, but they body ain't going. They play a lot of games.
Yeah.
They body not going.
All right, but imagine you take 2 years off and you don't pick up a ball, and you start doing something else, trying to be good at that. You start playing pickleball, and you like, fuck it, I'm gonna go all in on pickleball.
I agree. By the way, I
And you
ain't Michael
still
Jordan.
the best in the world. But you still the best in the world, bro.
When you come back.
But I mean, I want to be like Mike. That's Michael Jordan. However, MJ crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think he ever put the basketball down. Like, in my opinion, I just don't think so.
I don't believe that either.
He's crazy like that.
I think he went all in on baseball to try to be good.
Because
After
how
watching Last Dance,
competitive
I don't
he-
believe that he didn't
No,
pick up
because
basketball.
how competitive he is, to Jeff's point, he wanted to be so good at that he locked in. He was so good at basketball, I can come back and do
think
this. Them
he
niggas
did.
can't fuck with me.
I think he did, but I think he quickly realized, I'm not as good at this thing as this. Let me pick this ball back up.
Yeah, I mean, after a while, he probably was like, yeah.
You kind of weak at basketball.
Yeah.
You look like me at Michigan State football, MJ. Baseball.
That's a great. I got a question for that too.
Them
brother.
Giannis Antetokounmpo highlights of you at Michigan State. On the football field.
Crazy.
Okay, so his first thing was LeBron tried to make his players better intentionally, but he didn't give no example of what LeBron did to what player that made that player better. I need to see this player at this level, and I need to see the evidence that LeBron did something for that player's game, and then I need to see that player's game go to this level. That's what making someone better really is. And then if you made me better, how come I'm not striving. How come I'm not a top 50 player like Scottie Pippen is? Right? Like Mike really helped Scottie Pippen get better. LeBron James actually handpicked people that was already, at their peak. So how do I make somebody better that already hit their peak? And then I join them. He didn't get a rookie like Scottie and take him from a 6 points per game rookie who also mentally wasn't that tough, that was getting beat up by the Pistons and then quitting games for having headaches on top of not having tip-top shape physically. All of that stuff got competitive edge, the will to win, the tenaciousness on defense, getting better as a player, skill set, like all of that stuff elevated from either the example of MJ or MJ actually doing something that's going to help him elevate that. Right. So we got evidence of a rookie coming in and getting elevated by MJ. I don't think we had the evidence of LeBron. And even if we do, if you're going to use Boobie Gibson as the example, I take what Pippen elevated into versus what Boobie Gibson elevated into. So, and his second thing was because Michael Jordan took 2 years off, this is becoming a negative thing now. He took 2 years off, so LeBron's the GOAT. I don't even have no rebuttal for that. He took 2 years off, so LeBron's the GOAT. What? I guess what he's trying to say is that LeBron played 20 straight years. So that means he's a better player than Michael Jordan. Like how do you argue that? How do you even come back from that? Like, okay, I'm not about to sit here and argue with radio. Okay, radio, you got it. That's it. But as y'all turn away in, phone lines are open. I take 3 calls, and then we can end the show. I just want to hear what y'all think. What y'all think about this GOAT criteria? Michael Jordan took 2 years off, so he ain't the GOAT. Kareem didn't take no time off either, so I guess Kareem in front of Mike too. Kareem didn't take 2 years off. Neither did Kobe. So maybe Michael Jordan is not as good as we thought because he took 2 years off. Maybe he is like top 10. Like none of that makes sense, Draymond. Like you did LeBron no justice. You did LeBron no justice. I don't think Clutch Sports would be proud of this explanation on why LeBron is the GOAT. It wasn't good. But we're not getting the phone calls, man. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me this late or this early for some of y'all. But I catch y'all. I'll probably be live again at a better time. Back to my normal time in the afternoon, which would be Tuesday at 4:30 Pacific time, 7:30 Eastern time. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share this feed. Make sure you subscribe if it's your first time being here. And I catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.